So today I'm going to talk about Mucuna Pruriens. I've now taken this supplement for about 30 days at a small dose of 250 milligrams once per day. And wow, has it exceeded my expectations. Better mood, energy levels, motivation, my workouts are better. Even my sleep and my overall stress levels are definitely better. But what I can share with you is that I've kind of stayed away from this supplement because there are a lot of bad stories out there on the web. This study here shows that it can induce cognitive and emotional alterations. And this study here shows that it actually boosted the prefrontal cortex dopamine so significantly that it did induce psychosis with a number of the research subjects. It's a tropical legume native to Africa and tropical Asia, and it's been used for centuries as a herbal remedy for stress, for increasing dopamine production, and even helping with Parkinson's disease. So during this video, we're going to break down the benefits. I'm going to talk about the side effects. We'll discuss how to take Mucuna Pruriens, when to take it, and how often should you cycle off of it. And if you haven't yet subscribed, do click the subscribe button and let's get right into the video. This is the particular type of Mucuna Pruriens that I'm taking. It was recommended to me by a viewer, and I got this from Amazon. I'll see if I can put a link in the description box below. This is what the pill looks like. This is 400 milligrams of Mucuna Pruriens. Some of the major benefits include hormone optimization, cognition, fertility. If you look at your specific product, it will say on the nutrition label the percentage of l-dopa contained in the product. This product here specifically that I've talked about, this is 40% l-dopa, which is on the higher side because typically you'll see it in 15% across different supplement brands. So I have found that the brand doesn't really matter too much. Just be mindful of the l-dopa content because usually it's when people are taking too much l-dopa is when they start feeling some of the bad side effects that we'll talk about later. With respect to cognition, what you can expect is a better working memory, both short-term memory, long-term memory, even learning retention, as well as general motivation. So if you're looking to wake up a little bit more ambitious, excited, that's where this product can be very helpful. As well, attention, because l-dopa is one of the most powerful compounds that you can take. And then I personally and many others have actually experienced having better workouts, more fat loss, and an increase in muscle mass. And it got my attention at first because in one of my favorite pre-workout products, I noticed that they do contain l-dopa. They have the Mucuna Pruriens extract at 20% l-dopa, and I have found that while taking this pre-workout during the course of the day, I'm generally just in a better mood and I have more energy in the later portion of the day for whatever reason. And then as well, in one of the most popular nootropic blends out there called Qualia Mind, this has almost 30 ingredients. It's very powerful for cognition, performance, and they actually do have Mucuna Pruriens right there in the ingredient label at 100 milligrams. As mentioned in the study earlier, the subjects did experience an increase of their testosterone levels, and this is something which I as well have experienced to some extent while taking this supplement. Better sex drive, slightly better mood, almost a decreased need for sleep to some extent. And the mechanism in which this takes place, it's not completely understood, although what it can do is increase luteinizing hormone as well as to some extent suppress prolactin levels. So when prolactin levels come down, naturally testosterone does come up. And then there is some discussion around the effect of Mucuna Pruriens on improving your growth hormone levels. And then for those of you looking to have children, the good news is Mucuna Pruriens is known to improve sperm quality and improve fertility. As well, there's some interesting research showing that it can be very effective at reducing stress levels, almost similar to taking something like ashwagandha or lion's mane. People can experience a lower level of psychological stress and even decreased inflammation, as this nootropic has been shown to actually reduce cortisol levels, which can often mean a more balanced mood throughout the course of the day. I've definitely found this to be true. During the course of the day, I'm very easily able to see the brighter side of things. I feel to some extent a bit more resilient to push past failures and persist towards my goals, which is interesting because it feels a little bit like caffeine in that it almost induces this mild euphoria for you to really be optimistic and to some extent almost fake optimism, which thus leads to the next benefit, which is with mood and mental health effects. Typically in the context of having a depression, whether it's a severe depression or a mild depression, we often hear talk around serotonin, but scientists are starting to realize that dopamine is linked to motivation and linked to feelings of reward, which probably plays an equal role in the grand scheme of things. Because low dopamine in the brain's emotional centers can cause the inability to feel pleasure, which is really common in depression. If you've heard of the term anhedonia, like you don't find interest in anything, Mucuna Pruriens can really help with that. However, though, this is another reason why it's especially important to be mindful of your dose, because there's even the argument that Mucuna Pruriens is to some extent a psychedelic. However, it has been a lot of people's experiences that they report feeling almost in a dreamy state, even feeling hypomanic. With respect to the dosing of Mucuna Pruriens, this is a little bit tricky with the supplement, because if you are to browse on examine.com, you can see that during the studies, the subjects were taking 5 grams once per day throughout the study. However, if you are to get it in a supplement form like this over here, we're looking at doses like 800 milligrams. So because of this, I would really recommend that you look at the bottle and the nutrition label of whichever product of Mucuna Pruriens that you're considering taking, and check out the l-dopa content. So if you're new to this supplement, the way in which I would recommend is starting off with a dose as low as 20 milligrams of l-dopa to 40 milligrams l-dopa per day, and perhaps you can work yourself up. Think of it like putting a bandage over your problems. It's not something you would take long term. It's something more so that will help you to kind of lower the emotional response to a specific event that maybe happened during the course of the day. But if you are to take it every day, then once you come off of it, you can naturally have a bit of a lower baseline mood. So the only people who I would think could benefit by taking this every single day are maybe people who are coming off of some sort of antidepressant, maybe if they're coming off of like a stimulant such as Adderall, Concerta, Vyvanse, because these people generally come off of these stimulants and they feel very lethargic, tired, almost demotivated to some extent. That's where Mucuna Pruriens could be maybe worth considering taking on a daily basis. Now, when should you take it? Most users report good experiences taking it in the morning or in the afternoon, maybe even twice, provided that you divide the dose. I wouldn't recommend it too late, given that it's going to increase your dopamine levels, thus increase adrenaline. This can very often disrupt sleeping patterns. However, it hasn't been my experience that it hurts sleep too much. It's not as stimulating or energizing as something like caffeine, but I personally wouldn't take it later than 6 o'clock. Let's now discuss some of the side effects. Looking at some of the research, nausea is very commonly reported, nervousness. This study here actually shows that it almost can mess up your neural pathways with respect to your dopamine receptors. This study here shows that it can induce cognitive and emotional alterations. And this study here shows that it actually boosted the prefrontal cortex dopamine so significantly that it did induce psychosis with a number of the research subjects.